Good morning. I don't know if y'all can hear me.
Good
Loud and
morning.
clear.
All right,
Morning,
sweet.
Ken.
Morning. All right, yeah, we'll see if we can hold this area here. I think if we hold this area, we'll end up, if we kind of push down here at open, and then if we hold here, then we end up in that area. This is where we got a lot of volume, but it's pre-market data, so we just have to see. Oh, let's see, Michael, are you in here? Nice, asking in chat. He said, are you looking for shorts at 924? Yeah, you guys, I'm not really looking for anything. I really give that information out just for you guys. I don't care to trade the open. It's a little too unpredictable for me. So I just share that information. One, I share it for you guys just so you've got a little bit of a plan for anybody that does trade open, and two, just for really documentation reasons, just to see how it holds up over time based on my reading. I like to speculate on it based on the data, and then see if basically how many times it holds up. NFP this week as well. Let's see. 818. Where's that at? 818. See, I'm gonna try to figure out how to turn that noise off. Let's see. There it goes. It's starting to push down.
Morning, fam.
Good morning. Good morning.
How was your weekend, Cam?
Oh, it was good. How about you?
It was awesome.
Yeah,
I
what'd you
didn't
do?
do a thing.
I was about to say, what'd you
Nothing.
do?
My kids went with their sisters, so I didn't have to do nothing. I didn't have to cook dinner all weekend.
Whoa, that
Right?
that's weird, huh? Like,
I was like, bro, I'm having a beer at 4 o'clock. I don't care.
didn't have to do no dinner, nothing.
Just had to do no dinner. Didn't have to do no dishes. I bought me and the wife some fast food. I was like, yeah, because you know how hard it is to buy fast food for five, six people. So there was only two. I was like, yeah.
You're like, we could do this. Yeah, yeah. My kids, what did I do? Oh, I did some ribs. That's what I did yesterday. Did some ribs, but I did
They
it.
keep asking me for ribs
I
because I
kind of
got to
did.
do grill.
Mm, you get
Yeah, I had to
what did
help
you get? A
somebody move, and they
a
weren't taking
smoker?
it.
Is it a smoker or a grill?
It's like it's a smoker slash grill,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's big. Like they couldn't fit it into the U-Haul, so I was like, so what are you guys gonna do with it?
Right. Okay.
They're moving to Indiana. They're going across the country. They're not gonna wait. They're not coming back for that.
You're in Texas, yeah. So, man.
Yeah, they're not coming back for no grill. So I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'll take it for you. Don't worry. You don't have to worry about it.
Mhm. That's nice. That's like one of the things that always seems to go. I've seen a couple people move, and it's always like, just leave the grill, you know. And I'm like, the grill. What? I've been having the same.
Bro, I've gotten. Matter of fact, the sectionals I have in my house, both of them I got for free when because I used to have a moving business
Oh,
until I
okay.
got COVID. I couldn't do it no more. But yeah, man, every time I move somebody, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're not taking that." Okay,
Mhm.
don't worry, I'll take
I'm
care of it.
I'm I'm planning to move across like from Texas to northern Michigan, and I'm
Oh
getting rid of
Lord,
everything, everything, bedroom sets. But the only thing I have are my tools and my computer set, and the rest I'll just get new stuff.
Man, that sounds like an
But
easy way to go.
Michigan, huh? From the
it
hot to
does
the
something in your
cold.
mind though when you get ready to move like that, and you're like liquidating and packing. You know those totes they have in the back of gas stations. Um, Those are perfect for stacking. They got a built-in lid. They just open up by the middle and flop to the side. The lid does. And I was buying them, and I kind of realized that these people are just stealing them. And so I was like, I can't buy all this stolen crap. So I found out how to buy them like from the manufacturer, and they're still cheaper than the stuff they sell at Lowe's. If you buy a plastic tote, you can get them from a manufacturer for like 13 bucks. And so I got tons of those. So everything's all packed up in these perfect totes, and they're all color coordinated and stuff. And I'm like, get the hell out of this frying pan.
Yeah, yeah. Last time I moved, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make sure this is like the smoothest ever. And so that's what we did is we did use some boxes, but for the most part, we used those tote things that you're talking about. And what we did was I had movers first of all, so that part was easy. But like the heavy lifting part was easy. But what we did was we just labeled everything. So we put a label on the boxes, every single box. We put a label there, and then we labeled the door at the new place, and then that way when the movers came, it was just like match the label with the label, that goes there. So that it was pretty smooth, but it's still, you still got to pack that stuff, you know what I mean? Like the movers don't help you pack your stuff. It's still a lot of work.
You don't want them
It's
helping you
like
back.
I hate when that
Right.
happens. I'll
Right.
get somewhere and they got their kids and their dog and the beds are still made. And I'm like,
Oh,
I don't
really?
pack.
Oh, they would expect that you were
I don't.
about to
Well, now they just wouldn't be ready,
Right.
and they're expecting us to like do it as we go to help them sit. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna be here for about 6 hours waiting for y'all to pack.
Right. We pick up
'Cause,
boxes
yeah,
and
I
we
don't
put
I
them
don't
in
pack.
the we pick up the boxes, we put them in the
I
truck.
pick
That's
up
it.
stuff and I put it in the truck, and then I take it out the truck and I put it in your house. Like
Mhm.
that's my
I had
stuff.
last month I helped someone move and they did what you did, Kenneth. And
Mhm.
I was like, holy cow, these people are way organized because we just dumped everything in the garage and we're getting ready to leave. And
Mhm.
this is all church people. And there was still a lot of girls there. They're like, this is all labeled. So we were able to take it from the garage and put it in all the rooms they wanted. And
Yeah.
I was like, I've helped a lot of people move, but this was smart, dude. Because originally you just get everything in the garage, we leave. Now you get
Right,
everything
right.
put in the rooms and we leave. I'm like, they didn't take nothing but floor planning. You people are on point and they're military. So they've
Yeah,
done
yeah,
this
yeah.
before.
Yeah. Yeah, cause see, that's what we had done in the past was just to get it to the garage, and then like that's a lot of work still. So this time I was like, look, if I'm paying for movers, I'm gonna have them move it all the way to the room. Not the garage. We're getting it all the way there.
Now that when all the church friends help, you have like 10, 15 guys and like probably 10 or 15 women.
Yeah,
And there's more people than there is to do. But
yeah.
when it's all organized like that, we had the
Hmm.
whole place moved in like 20 minutes or something.
Oh wow,
Okay, maybe 45, maybe 45.
well, that's still really good. Yeah, when you got that many people come together and you get something done quick. Well, guys, this is a pretty boring open here, huh? Look at this little rectangle compared to what we had. We had a little bit of a consolidated, not much of a Asia range, and the afternoon session in London was pretty good, but this is doing a whole lot of nothing.
Just want to say good morning, everyone. It's been a minute since I've been here. Just been dealing with stuff in life, but a new schedule, work, and everything, and fit stuff in. I think my mic's cutting out a little bit. Phone, but
Well,
but
welcome
yeah, I just
back,
want to say good
man. I
morning to all everyone.
Morning.
missed your ideas.
Yeah, no, you're coming through
Hey,
clear.
oh, that's good. Okay, it's good to see you again, Cedric. It's been a minute. Yeah, it's been a minute. So
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I got a job, so my schedule changed too. So I definitely understand. But man, that's all I think about. What are they doing without me?
We're just in here crying. Where are they?
Yeah, that's what I figured. I was like, man, they're all heartbroken. That was my very white voice, my quick wit.
Well, you're here now.
Hey Ken, on the prop firms, what is the difference between the Rhythmic and the others? Do you know?
Um, it's just like basically the broker, and so like Rhythmic, for example, is going to use Ninja Trader, right? And so, hold on, let me just hit this button right fast here, and I'm just doing something. Okay, so Rhythmic is using like Ninja Trader. It's the data connections, I guess you'd say, and so they all have. I mean, for the most part, they're all going to have the same rules. What it's going to change is it's going to change who you're trading through. Like you may have to trade on a certain platform and where your actual data is coming from. So, some people say,
Okay.
"Oh, I like this one better. I like that one better." And so they'll do they'll do that, right? And so like some people they swear that the best one to use is Ninja Trader, right? And so they're gonna
Hmm.
Ninja Trader has a certain amount of connections that it can accept, and like I think the most popular for Ninja Trader is like CCG or like Rhythmic, right, and things like that.
Hmm.
So So you just have to, you just have to decide what you want to use and who you want to use. Um, like Tradeovate, they got the Tradeovate, right? And so
Hmm.
Tradeovate has, their kind of web-based platform. Some people refuse, like a lot of old-time traders, they're like, you can't trade on a web-based platform. They just think that it's not a good idea, right? Like, that the execution isn't going to be good or whatever. I don't see a problem with it. I mean, maybe back when, you know, 15 years ago or something like that, you didn't have good platforms or good connections or something, and you really had to have a good, stable platform. But my executions are great through Trade I mean, I push the button, it enters right away. I don't
Right.
see any problems. I'm over here in Arizona, you know. Maybe if you were
Yeah.
doing some kind of crazy, like really high frequency type of trading or something, you might have to worry about that. But I don't see those problems. I don't see any problems coming
Yeah,
from
I've
it.
had more problems on TradingView than TradeOvate.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. The reason why I
TradeOvate,
asked,
when
'cause
you click the button, TradeOvate, it usually just, like you said, when I click it, it happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes I click it on TradingView and I'm like, where's my trade at? And then it'll
Yeah.
pop up like 10 seconds later.
Yeah.
yeah, the reason why I asked is because I was looking at Bullinox as one of the prop firms,
Yeah.
and I guess they use Rhythmic through NinjaTrader.
Mm-hmm. Rhythmic.
And
Yeah.
so I was thinking about trying them out, but when I come back, so I'm just doing my research and stuff. So I didn't know if there was anything different. I'm just
Right.
curious to see if I do go that route as one of the brokers to outside of Apex to could I still connect it, like we do through TradingView, with the
Yeah.
others, when you trying to pass the prop firm and stuff. That was really the root of what I wanted to know if there's any difference between using a Rhythmic account versus Tradeovate or whatever.
Yeah, you know what, man? I'll just tell you what I've seen is
Mm-hmm.
people say, yeah, I've seen people say, "Oh, I hate Tradeovate," and I've seen them say, "Oh, I hate Rhythmic." I've seen people say that NinjaTrader lags up, and I've seen people say Tradeovate lags up. So I just don't have personal experience with Rhythmic. But I've also,
Mm-hmm.
just like I've heard a lot of people say bad things, I've heard a lot of people say good things too. So,
Yeah.
it's what I would do is just give it a try. You know what I mean? Just give it a try.
Yeah.
And you've been trading on Tradeovate, so you know what that's like. And so
Mm-hmm.
just compare the two and just see what you prefer. See what works. If you're gonna notice a difference, like if you get in there and you start trading um Rhythmic, I mean, you're gonna have to deal with the platform change. You know what I mean, for sure. Like going over
Yeah.
to NinjaTrader is going to be a little bit of a learning process, but um, I used to trade on NinjaTrader years and years ago, back in like 2016, 17. I traded on, well, you know what? I charted on NinjaTrader, and so that was before TradingView. So it was like, we were charting on NinjaTrader because it had better options than MetaTrader. And so, we would do all of our charting, our heavy charting that we had back then, and we would do a charting on NinjaTrader, and we would take our trades on MetaTrader. Just like now we
Yeah.
use TradingView for charting, and we
Mm-hmm.
take our trades on our broker. So
Right.
I liked it. I liked it, but it does, man, it's gonna take you a little while to just get used to where everything's at and the buttons and things like that. But it's just like anything. Use it long enough, you'll know how to use it. Get used
Okay.
to it.
Yeah, but you don't know if we can hook it up to, like, if you want to take your initial trades on TradingView, like we do with, how you log in, and I guess, I mean, how you go to when you go to trade, you can take your trade on traded directly from TradingView. Do you know if that works or no? Or not?
Oh,
Not
okay, I
not
see
really
what you
sure.
mean. So you said that it was tell me the setup again. That it's.
It's Bullinox is the
Mhm.
broker, and then I think they use NinjaTrader and Rhythmic for theirs. But I didn't know if you could link your NinjaTrader to, how we link trading,
Mhm.
our TradeOvate
Trade-O-Vate,
to
yeah.
TradingView. Yeah, can
You
you
can't.
link Ninja Trader to TradingView? I mean, as well. Yeah.
I
No, you
don't.
can't do it.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I was
Okay.
about to say
All
I'm
right. That's
not sure
cool.
about
Well,
that
that
one.
answers my question.
Yeah.
Well, look at the brokers because I thought they added Ninja Trader not too long ago.
No,
But
you can't
but that's not a
do Ninja Trade. You can't trade. You can't trade on TradingView or them no more. When they had TradeAvate, you could, but since they switched, they don't. They don't offer it no more.
Okay. That's cool. That makes sense.
That's why I stopped using. I did have some accounts with them, but yeah, I can't get used to that. The other platform, and it's not mobile. So
Ninja
for me,
Trader?
yeah, I
It's
never used that one. Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot to learn for sure. Okay, so yeah, that's first time I didn't realize that they had added Ninja Trader on here as well though. So I mean, I guess basically, I'm assuming it's just like Trade of Eight. You just log in with your Ninja Trader credentials, huh? I think that these are the exact same now.
Hmm.
I would think so.
Hmm.
Ray, I would send it if you're considering it. I would message the broker and just confirm it before you did it.
Yeah.
But
Before I put money in anything, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
Okay. And then Ken, one more question on
Yeah.
Apex. I saw that they had two different options now. As far as I don't know, it seems like everything's changed over there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they got like they have end of day now, so like they have, man, I really haven't gotten in too much into it because I still trade the legacy accounts. They went and they made a
right.
bunch of changes now. If you go into mentorship, well, you know what I could do is I can just get you the video that broke it all down, that says
Okay.
like this is
Yeah.
I'm actually looking for it right now, but it explained everything that was going on, all the changes. They released a video that went over basically everything, but yeah, a lot of people said they didn't like the trailing drawdown where it would trail your highest profit amount and like
Hmm.
as the day would go on. I never had a problem with that because of the amount of risk that I take on my trade. So it literally for again, and me and you talked about this a little bit. We didn't talk about it after they made these changes, but we did talk about it that a lot of these changes, they don't really affect us if you're following the blueprint. Like if you're trading the
Right.
same way that I talk about in the blueprint with the same size,
Hmm.
a lot of these changes didn't matter. Like, you know, um, they just didn't change. They didn't matter. And so what they did though was they added now you have your regular trailing drawdown just like you've always had, but now they have like a end of day type of thing. So honestly, I haven't looked into it enough to understand how it all works, and Apex is only prop for my view. So I don't know that all of the specifics on how it works, but I do know that they increased some of the numbers. So like instead of or they decrease some things and increase other things. So like now you only need 5 days. I believe it was on the new accounts, it's 5 days for your payout. And then they increased the consistency thing where like instead of 30%, it's 50%. So based on everything that I had looked at when they were making those changes, to me it looked like they basically made everything easier to pass. Now the one big thing that I've seen a lot of people didn't like was you can't just like there's no more monthly subscriptions. Like how it used to be like
Yeah.
you'd buy an eval and you'd have that eval and you'd just sit there and trade on it until you passed it, or you could reset it
Right.
over and over, especially if you got locked in at a good price. They just got rid of that altogether. So now it's more like you have 30 days. That's it. So you got 30 days to pass that evaluation. If you pass it, great. If you don't, then you just buy another one. It's just canceled. And so but again, you could set up a plan for that. You set up a plan for that, and it always comes back to you're not nobody's forcing anybody to trade on an evaluation. Like if you'll break trading down into a few, like if you're a brand new trader, break everything down into small steps, and the first thing you do is pick a strategy. Second thing you do is build confidence on that strategy. You don't have to do that on an evaluation. There are demo accounts for that. And so you could practice for months, as many months as you want, and you can reset your demo account and you can practice and practice and practice. You can practice as
Yeah.
long as you want on a demo account and until you say, okay, I'm confident in this strategy. Now I could say, all right, so the strategy works. I know it works. What size would I need to use in order for me to stick to the same strategy but pass this evaluation within 30 days? I think that if you were just taking 1 to 2 trades per day, and if you're especially if you're doing
Mm-hmm.
like a 50K account, like if you were to just do like 1 to 2 trades per day, let's put it this way, no more than 3 trades per day, and you risk like somewhere around $200 per trade, you're probably going
Right.
to be able to pass. That gives you 5 days out of the week. You're like you potentially could end up making like $1,000 a week on that evaluation. Pretty good chance that you're going to pass that evaluation within 30 days, and you don't have to do anything
Oh yeah.
crazy. You know what I mean? You don't have to $500
Right.
per trade, like $200, $200 risk per trade, and or set a target, where you're looking for like $250 per day, and just take the whole 30 days. You know what I mean? Take 20 days, something like that. Don't be in a rush to do it.
Right. Exactly. No, I get it. Yeah, definitely. It makes sense to me. Yeah. So, all right.
Yep.
Now, do you know if they still have the activation fee on Tradeovate right after you pass? Though, I
Yeah,
mean,
but
yeah, I know they have.
right now they're doing a
Hmm.
deal. Let me pull it up. So I think right now is the first time since they did this new Apex. Yeah,
Hmm.
see that you still have 3 days left, and well, see, I don't know how that would work for you because you'd have to pass the eval, which I mean you could,
Hmm.
right? You'd have to pass the eval, and then right now I think it's like what do you guys remember? It was like $70 or something like that for. Let me see. I put it in announcements. I think. Yeah, so right now, yeah, the special price on intraday trailing drawdown, whatever, intraday drawdown, 50K one-time PA fee for $69. So right now you could actually get the account for 90% off, which probably makes it around $30 or something like that. And then you could also get basically $100 gets you a PA account. Is the way I'm kind of looking at that right now. So $100, gets you
for
the
the
whole thing.
intraday. The end of day is more
Intraday.
expensive, I think.
Yeah, but I
The
don't.
end of day is
I think that the intraday is just as easy. I mean, like you're not gonna hit the trailing drawdown if you use basic risk management.
Management. Yeah.
hmm
It's no different than what we've been doing this whole time. So again, for us,
Yeah.
like when like I would like if I had to redo the whole thing. I mean, look, if I got a better deal or better accounts or better this, better that, more flexibility, I would go with the intraday or whatever they're calling it now.
Yeah.
I don't care
Yeah. It
about
looks like
that.
if you do the. Yeah, it looks like if you do the other one, the end of day.
Uh-huh.
It's 34.95 with after the discount or something like that.
Hmm.
$34, yeah. And then I'm squinting.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
34.90, yeah, 34.90. And I don't know what the activation fee is after that though. I mean, yeah. If you pass within
It'll
whatever the
tell you.
time
It
frame is.
should tell you if you drop down if you go to the PA section, like wherever you're reading that at. If you like
Uh,
you've clicked on intraday or end of day, trade of 50K, and then go down to the bottom and click that little arrow, and it'll drop it down, and it says like right now it says one time activation fee 119, but let me see one time fee, no rebill. Now let me I'm gonna try it on the intraday. Intraday.
yeah.
I think that you still take the deal. You take the 90% off of whatever that number is. Cause see, oh wait, no.
Yeah.
It does say right here. It says $69 one time activation fee. So maybe when they're doing a discount, they update that performance, that one time activation fee,
Uh-huh.
69, because it actually shows $69 right there. So it's like they've already applied the discount to it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so
if you
it's
take the
20.
3490, if you take the 3491 to get in, and then once you pass it, you just pay $70 to activate it. I guess is what it is.
Well, so if you've clicked on the end of day trail, and trade ovate 50K account, what it's telling me right here is it says $34.90 for the eval, and
Uh-huh.
then the performance account, if you click that arrow, it says one-time activation fee 119. So that's
119. Okay.
that's on the end of
Yeah.
day trail. If you do the intraday trail, which is what we've always done anyways, then
Right.
it's $24.90 for the eval, and then
Mhm.
it is $70 for the activation fee. So it's basically
Oh, okay.
$95. I don't. I mean, I don't know unless you guys know something. I
Not a
don't
bad
know.
deal.
Unless you guys know something I don't know, I don't see why you wouldn't just go for the end of the intraday trail. That's what we've always done before. Um,
Right.
I never had a problem with that. The only people that I know had a problem with that were the people that like were using too big of size. That's it. I mean, because you end up price goes, and that's the other thing too is we don't hold our trades like for a long time, so it's not like we're going to be holding on to this big runner that goes up $2,000 and it comes back down and stops us out all at one time.
Okay. No, that makes sense. All right, perfect. That sounds like a plan to me. So
Yeah.
so I got to Thursday. Oh, the reason I'm asking because I'm getting close to getting a contact lens for my right eye.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can have it here in a couple of days. And then
Uh,
I only can wear it. I only can wear it for a few hours. So the goal is to wear it in the morning, get in, get some trades in, and there's going to be building towards something. Then when I go back to the doctor at the end of the month, then I
yeah.
should be able to, hopefully they'll be able to refit me, after I wear this trial lens and go from there. So
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
getting there, man.
congratulations on getting your lens and everything. I know
Hmm.
you were stressing about that a little bit. I'm glad
Yeah,
you did.
man. Yeah. I still got a ways to go. I got about 2 months.
Yeah, sight's
until-
important, bro.
Yeah.
Not
I
being
got a
able to
two.
see is
Oh yeah, I got 2 months before I can. About maybe by August, I'll be able to have that other cornea transplant on the eye that got injured. So,
Yeah.
but at least this will get me seeing good until I can get through that process. So, man, I appreciate y'all prayers, but don't want to talk about that. Just want to find out what's going on and
Yeah.
educate myself as much as possible as I'm trying to get back in the fight.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. All
Yeah.
right. Well, let's go ahead and I'm gonna pull this new data, you guys. It's 10 o'clock. The market has done just basically nothing. I'm almost falling asleep here. 90 points since the open. Now I know
Uh,
that we've got news this week, right? And so let me just pull this up here. We got um what is today? It's the 4th. So we really don't have too much till this afternoon. Rate statement. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, markets are just, I mean, especially it's kind of crazy. Like we had some news and stuff over the weekend, so surprised that it's as dead as it is right now, but whatever. Let's see what the new levels look like. Oops, close that.
some of these red cash registers going on.
Huh, I don't hear anything.
Hmm.
Y'all hear a cash register?
It sound like I heard one.
Huh. All right. We have had a lot of changes. We've got a lot of kind of like longs added in here. So things are looking kind of bullish across the board right now. It's all green, we could say. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do what I did last time, which is I'm going to drop a line on these blue ones because these, let's see, I think I already put a line there. Nope. All right. So they still tend to cause a reaction. So I'm going to go ahead and mark those with my other blue. Huh. Oh, there it is. So we got those, and now I'm sending some data through you guys over to daily levels. Okay, I just sent the data over so you guys can update your levels. And yeah, as you see, I mean, man, night and day difference. But you see how everything did kind of move up higher. So the market is, right now it is positioned based on current data. It's positioned to go higher today. So um, let's take a look here. All right. Yeah, I was looking through everything real close, and yeah, it's basically like I was saying. So we're tilted towards being bullish. This area is still kind of the same. Like if price does end up moving down here, it's possible. But if it does, market makers are going to have to what's this? They're gonna have to be buying down here, right? Trying to if I could just get an arrow. So yeah, they'll have to be hedged along down here. I don't know what's happening with this freaking arrow. Okay, so any moves down into this area here should be met with some buying. So that's something that's kind of predictable, right? So if price does move down into here and we see wicks and that what we're really looking for is we have an area where behavior is predictable, and so all we have to do is wait for price to get into that area, and then we would look for those types of patterns. We'd look for signs of buying at those areas. And so that's so that's a nice little buying area. You'd want to see price move into there and start holding up. Thank you. And now the next thing is, all right, where's the next area, right? Where are we going to look at next? And so that I'm kind of identifying right now. So what we want to do is we want to try to kind of identify the same type of an area like this where where we would expect a certain behavior at a specific place, and then only when and if price gets there, then we could start looking for that we have between now and kind of 7:30 or 10:30 to identify that. Otherwise the market creates that for us, which is going to be our initial balance. Um so yeah, I'm gonna keep looking. I can tell you right now, based on the current price, we're at around.
Oh, what happened there?
Oh wow, yeah. No, let me go to 1 minute.
Yeah, that
Bunch
was
of
crazy.
massive cells.
Yeah. So what are we at? 860 area.
A 60-point drop in 1 second.
Yeah. 873. Oh, we're basically right here. All right, so there's a lot of volume right here. So if we see price kind of pinning here, staying here, we could play the old, outside type of trade, right? Where price may pin right there, up till 1030. Those are some places that you could look for. I mean, it appears that price is kind of stuck to this line right here. So as long as it stays there, we can do what I just talked about. And if you want to, you could even, do what we've talked about before, which is actually trade more like that. So you'd be looking for dips into there, stuff like that. I think it's a little easier to wait until the initial balance sets up to give yourself some confidence.
Oh, Ken, also this is for Ray. The one thing that is a little different on the new Apex accounts is, for example, a 50K, you need to make 250 a day to qualify for a payout.
Mm.
Okay.
So that's a little bit, higher than it used to be. I think it used to be 150. It's
Shoot,
250 now for a
at one time I
50K.
thought it was even 50, if I remember right.
It could have been.
It was 50. Yep. 5 days of 50.
Okay. So once you pass the evaluation, you got to average 250, or just you have to
Not
hit at least
average. You have to have
minimum 250.
5 days of 250 minimum before you can
Mm-hmm.
request a payout.
Okay. Man, what happens if you go on vacation? You're not trading.
Oh, you just don't trade, and then
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a little crazy. That is a little bit crazy. The 250, I forgot about that. The 250 on a 50K count. Like if
that's a little hard.
if you do all the math, it's kind of like, wow, you guys are really kind of having me push the limits here. I mean, because you just got to do the math. Like there's a reason, like how I said, all right, imagine you have your trailing drawdown, I think the trailing drawdown is on the new accounts. You know what it is? Let me see. If you were using the trailing drawdown one. Let me see. Trade of a intraday trail. So max drawdown is 2,000. So you're not allowed to lose more than 2,000. So now,
And I think it's 1,000 a day.
oh yeah. So now 2,000.
Well, yeah, 1,000 a day and 2,000 overall.
Yeah, so $100. Basically, I'm just doing the math on like, all right, what would I do? Like if I was to trade the 50K account and do the 5% of the trailing drawdown, that puts you at 100. So you can risk you basically, in order to have 20 attempts without blowing the account, you risk $100 per trade, but you have to make $250. You know what I mean? So yeah, it just kind of squeezes things a little bit. Yeah.
So I mean, it's almost like you need to trade in queue, maybe one
Wrong.
contract. No,
I don't.
I mean,
I'm just joking. Personally, you
oh
can do whatever you want. Personally, I use micros.
yeah, but you'd have to take more trades though, right? I mean,
That's true.
or just be selective, really selective about the trades that you.
You have
I
to
mean,
have a
what you should
really
be
high
any.
win rate.
Yeah, yeah.
What you'd have to do is you'd have to trade MNQ for the flexibility so that you can decide how much you want to risk, because you're almost not going to be able to risk. Hold on, I was choking.
Yeah, there's no $100 trades in NQ.
Right. So you're basically. I'll be right back. I got to get some water.
So, do you guys know if there are any other brokers out there that doesn't have that minimum though? That are
Lucid
reasonable?
is 150
Yeah.
for a 50K account.
My
Okay.
funded futures, they don't have an activation. I think their consistency is like 50%,
Mm-hmm.
and you can get daily payouts in some of them. Like I have a 25K rapid account,
Mm-hmm.
and it's once you pass, you can get daily payouts. I like that place.
My funded futures. How much
Yes,
is the
sir.
evaluation?
$87 right now. It's on sale.
I've found no matter where you go, there's pros and cons to everything. If it looks real good in one area, there's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
trade-off somewhere else.
So far, I haven't had to worry about payout problems because I haven't got a payout, and I haven't had any problems where I needed to talk to customer service. So far, everything has been great with them. You just I had an account banned because I used my wife's card to pay for an account,
Mhm.
and they don't like that. You can't do that. Anything that you use to pay has to have your name on it. So that's the
Okay.
only thing that I ever came across with them. But other than that, yeah, I like my funded futures.
Has anybody used Top Step or those other ones too? I mean, I know there a lot of people use that one. So,
Yeah, I
you
haven't
know.
used those.
Oh, okay.
How many accounts can you have with what you were talking about? That's Cedric.
My funded, I think it's like 5, and they're a 90-10 split. But yeah, I think I have it's 1,500 to pass. So I said I got a 25K account. You gotta get 1,500, and then after you've passed, you trade for one day, and you can pass in that one day, and then after that, you're allowed to get payouts every day.
Okay, I'm back. You guys
My
almost
car.
lost me to a boiled egg.
I've used
Bruh.
Top Step before. The Top Step is not that good now anymore.
All right, I forgot what I was even talking about. I think you guys finished it off though. So we're good.
That he shouldn't trade
Oh
NQ
yeah.
to try and speed up the process because there's no way to risk $100 on an NQ trade, though it moves too fast. But now you're already over $100. It's gonna be like,
Yeah.
yeah, nah. So nah,
Yeah,
you
there's
have to
really no
go.
like
You have
okay,
to go like,
Nasdaq 5 points. That's what you got. $100, 5 points. That's it. That's not enough.
yeah. So you'd have to go M and Q like 3 or 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
You
right.
got to
Makes sense.
cut that in half at least, and then a little bit less than that maybe. And then
Mm-hmm.
now you're just shooting for 10. You're just shooting for 10 like you were with NQ. And if you're taking 3 trades at what? So what? A 3 or a 4 is what? What are you making on 10, Ken?
200.
So you're making like $40. No, not on
Oh.
MNQ. I mean, not on NQ, MNQ. If
I
you're doing
haven't
like a 3 or a 4,
um
$60 for 3.
about
yeah,
40,
I
50
don't trade
bucks,
it
right?
enough to.
But
Six
roughly about 30, 40, 50 bucks. And
on
you're
a
taking 2 or
3.
3 trades. You got to minimize your risk. You can't go in on
Yeah.
NQ trying to risk
Yeah.
$100 a trade.
Yeah. I guess I'm just looking at our goal is to take fewer trades and maximize our
Yeah.
opportunity
No,
with
no, no,
only
no,
taking one or two
no.
trades a
The
day.
goal
But
is
it's
to slow down. That's
yeah.
what the goal is. The goal is to just go in and not worry about how much money it is, just that you're doing the trade the way the trade's supposed to be ran, and play the edge for the long game. Tortoise, not the hare. Like, I know it only gives you 30 days, but at our rate, even 2, 3 trades and micros, you're passing
Oh
in
yeah.
less than
But
30 days.
yeah. But after you
Maybe not a
pass,
week.
I'm thinking about after you pass the hit a minimum, what was it, 250 a day? I mean, you have to take more trades to get that if you're trading. You know what I'm saying? That's
On which one? On which size account is it 250?
was it
Lucid.
50,000,
Oh
Matt?
no,
50K.
Apex 50K.
So 50K is
Yeah,
250 a day. Damn, that's wild.
that's
Yeah.
for end of
So
day, then it's 200 for the intraday.
All right,
okay.
well, now you're
That's not
doing maybe a six then, but you definitely
yeah.
aren't doing NQ. Stay away from NQ until like NQ is when you start getting into $100,000, $300,000 accounts.
Yeah.
Now you're
Yeah.
trading NQ.
Yeah,
I
unless you
mean,
just get
Ken can trade
a
NQ no matter what size his account is, but because
yeah.
he has the patience to take his two trades. Like the rest of us are still like I've definitely came down from 68, 70 trades. I used to take a lot of trades in a day. I still take probably too many. I still end up probably taking 8 or 10, but I'm not doing like I used to. So yeah, you gotta. It's
Yeah.
the long game. It has to be the
I just
long
don't
game
yeah,
because if
my
you're
thing is
trying
I
to
just don't
rush
want
it
to be in the
at
trade a
250,
long
it
time
sucks.
too. That's another thing. Because I think the longer you
I didn't
stay in
even
the
know
trade,
that, man.
yeah, you put yourself at risk big time.
Yeah, I don't have any more Apex accounts. I ran out. I'm out of Apex accounts, and I don't like the do 6 time payout that I got to buy a new one. So I said my funded. That's a good try. Apex, like he said, it doesn't really matter the rules if we're trading like we're supposed to be trading. Like he's telling us to trade. Like the rules don't really matter. Oh, now we're looking about how much an account costs. Like that's probably our biggest concern.
Well, you know what? This is what I'll tell you is that all of this stuff can be identified and figured out well in advance before paying for an account. Like, and basically what I was just hearing you say is if you'll just sit down, what you can do right now, right this very second, Ray, is you can go to tradeovate.com and you can open up a demo account. That's going to allow you to you're going to have to pay for data. I think because all right, you have I don't know. I'm pretty sure you're going to have to at least pay for data through Tradeovate because normally we get CME data with Apex, but
I have to pay for data with my fund of futures. I have to pay for my own data.
what is it, $4
I
or
pay for
seven?
the CME. I think it's $7, like 6.99 or
Okay,
something.
so that's
It might
cheaper
even be
than
just seven. You're right, but
that's cheaper than any eval. So for $7, guess what? Like what
and
most
then you
people
have to pay for
let's be real. I mean, come on,
yeah.
you guys, look around and look at what's actually going on. People are using Apex accounts. They're using evaluations like they used to use demo accounts. Like people are now just paying for demo accounts when they used to be for free. The only reason why they're willing to pay for the demo accounts is because there's a little carrot at the end where it's like, hey, if I pass it, I get a reward. So now it's like incentivized to trade a demo account because there's a reward at the end of it. But what that's doing is, I mean, you see what it's doing is it's causing people to manipulate the system, game the system, trade in ways that don't even make sense to try to get those payouts and or to get to the next stage. They're trying to build confidence essentially on an evaluation account, but if you'll just, regardless, whatever, we'll put that aside. What you can do right this very second is you can go to Tradeovate, you can sign up for a demo account, go into the back area, the add-on section, and look for the CME add-on. And somewhere in there, for less than $10 a month, you can add the CME data. Now you have a demo account on Tradeovate, you have real-time data, and you have the ability to reset your account as many times as you need to. Get to work on your strategy, and you want to play with numbers. You say, okay, I'm gonna risk 100. Maybe I could do 10 contracts. Maybe I could do 10 micros. Maybe this, da, da, da. All that stuff. You can start doing that. Put your mind to work and come up with a plan and write it down and say, okay, this is what's working. This is what's not working. This is you could say, okay, Apex is requiring me to make $250 a day. Come up with a plan that's unique and comfortable for you. I can help you do that if you need help with it, but
Yeah.
everyone's going to have a little bit different tolerance. Some people are going to want a little more wiggle room. Some people are like aggressive and they're okay with like understanding the 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 risk on on a funded account. It's not, the thing is, this is something to think of as well. And I don't want to go too far off topic, but like, all right, there's a huge difference in mindset when when you're trading a funded account versus your own live money. Like the risk is capped. Like you're not, the worst thing. It's no, I'm saying this because it's important to keep track of your mindset with this. Is like you're not if you blow a funded account, it's not like you just lost your own $100,000. You know what I mean? Like now you're out of money and you're screwed. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
but people treat these funded accounts like they're real capital accounts. They're like, no, my $100,000, you didn't lose $100,000, you lost 160. You know what I mean? Which is the valuation plus the activation. That's how much. So, the risk versus reward is great. You're going to spend less than $200 to get a funded account that you can pull thousands of dollars out. And so, so some people are going to understand that and they're going to say, I'm okay kind of pushing it and being a little bit more aggressive. Some people are going to say, and it's okay regardless. Some people are going to say, you know what? I'm going to treat this like a real cash account because that's what makes sense to me. It's where I'm comfortable. It's the type of trader I want to be in the long run. I want to be really conservative. And they're going to want to have some
Mm-hmm.
wiggle room. You can create that, you can do that. Now, like we were talking about, Apex is requiring at least $250 $250 days, which means that out of when you request a payout, it's going to tell you you have 23 trading days. Out of those
Mm-hmm.
23 trading days, 5 of them must have $250 profit. That doesn't mean you have to make $250 every single day. You don't have to pull a payment out every single 5 days either.
Right.
You could just trade. You're going to have some days where you make over $250, right? That doesn't have to be the
Mm-hmm.
goal. You could have a goal of $100 a day. I have a goal. I typically try to make $200 per day, right? I look for 1 to 2 trades per day. I like to make, that, and y'all see what I do. I normally look for a 10-point setup, one contract, that's $200, all the accounts. So, but there's days where I make $1,000, and it's just because multiple setups happen or a really good setup happens. Some days I exceed my goal, and so that means I don't have to, I if I was on those new accounts and I had to make $250, I know what's going to happen sooner or later. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit there and stress about it and say, "Oh no, I got a $250." You know what I mean? Like I'm going to trade my strategy the way I trade it. There's so much flexibility. Like, all right, I could take what I normally do and I could do what I normally do and I could say, all right, I'm gonna take 10 points, one contract, $200, bam, got it. And then I could switch
Yeah.
over to MNQ and I could trade one micro and try to catch a long trade. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I could try to, I don't know how many points you need for $50, but basically I could switch over to MNQ and try to make the other $50. You know what I mean? If I do it, if I lose $50, I'm done for the day, and that's $150 profit for the day. If I make it, then I'm at 250 for the day. There's you could get so creative with it, but the best thing is you don't need to even think about or worry about. Look, if you don't have a strategy in place yet that you have confidence in, where you say, okay, I know this will work, you have access to a Tradeovate demo and you could go and practice all you want right there. And you don't have to jumble up your head with all these numbers and dates and rules and stuff like that. Just have a general idea of it and say, all right, you know what, let me just see if what I'm doing on a basic general level would get me close. And then you say, all right, you know what, I'm pretty close, what do I need to change? And then do it that way. That way you're using more of like a process of elimination instead of just trying to You know, because things aren't, you know, that's what happens. People make a big old plan in the very beginning, and they set these expectations. They say, okay, I'm gonna do it like this, I'm gonna do it like that, and this is how it's gonna work. And then that doesn't typically work. And then they're like, you know, they're and when their expectations are not met, it throws them for a loop, and they're like, oh no, now I have to redesign the entire whole thing, you know. And then they make a whole new set of expectations, and then they attack the market again, and then the market doesn't meet their expectations, and then they redo it all over, you know. So just go in kind of general and say, all right, let's see what does work, and then just slowly add on to that. And if we work together on that, that's, you know, that's the best thing. But it's gonna, you know, it might take a couple weeks just kind of messing around with things, and until we get it just right, see what is working for you, see what's not working for you.
Yeah. There's no difference though with like instead of, I mean, I'm already paying for TradingView and the data on TradingView. I mean, is there any difference between paying for that versus doing it on Tradeovate? I mean, um,
No, I mean, yeah,
I mean,
if you're already on, if you're already paying for the TradingView data,
yeah.
the only thing that you can't do, well, actually, you probably could do it. No, because then you'd have to buy the TradingView add-on through TradeOvate.
Okay.
I was gonna say, the thing is, paper trading sucks on TradingView. I've
TradingView.
messed around with it, and it just doesn't feel everything the right way. And so, you know,
Hmm.
now if that affects you or not, you know, then that's one thing. You know, you're not gonna have that same feeling as if you were trading on TradeOvate, which
TradeOvate.
is what you'd be doing with the
Okay.
Apex. So,
Right.
but what you could do is you could, you know, you could swap it out. There's different options. So like, you know, I take my trades on TradeOvate anyway. So I take my trades
Okay.
on TradeOvate because of the copy trading. So I encourage anybody that's planning on copy trading, just get used to trading on TradeOvate. You might as well, because you're going to be doing it anyways for like really seamless copy trading. I never have trouble with my copy trading because I do it. I just accepted that I'm gonna. First of all, I only trade on my computer. I always trade from the exact same place, sitting right here, and so I can trade on TradeOvate. That doesn't bother me. You know, I can, and I take 1 to 2 trades per day. Like, I don't need fancy software and this and that to make what I'm doing. I do 1 or 2 trades, which means that I normally set a limit order, and I'm triggered in, and then I set my TP and my stop loss with the same left button. You know, all in all, it takes me about 2 seconds to set up a trade the same way every single day. And I normally do that 1 to 2 times per day. I don't need anything else to make that possible. And so, and to know that it seamlessly works perfectly every single time, I like that. And so I just do that, you know. And so, so what you could do is you could set it up the same way, right? Where you're all in on TradeOvate, or if you're on TradingView, like you said, you're already on TradingView right now, you're already paying for that data. You could use paper trade through TradingView, but you know there are some limitations there. It just doesn't always work the right way. You know, so there is that part, but you just have to decide. I like the TradeOvate route just because it's like that's where you're heading anyways. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure your ultimate goal is to trade a couple accounts. A lot of these prop firms already use um a lot of these prop firms already use TradeOvate as it is, you know, and especially because TradeOvate has this good built-in copy trading. So like, you know, it's like, why not? And so, you know, I'd say just open a demo account with TradeOvate, and or if you feel like you're ready to start leaning into getting funded, and you have a plan, you know how much you're going to risk, and you know in other words, you have a trade plan that you're confident in and you're ready to move forward with, you could start with a prop firm and you could start doing it that way. Um, you know, so you just had to decide.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense, Ken. I mean, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's good. Good update for me on that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that
Yep.
advice. And I'm just taking it slow, man, and I'm just trying to get my, like I said, I'm just getting my head in the right place so when I come back, you know, I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Um,
I would just
yeah,
get
definitely.
I would just get the demo with Trade-O-Vate then. I
Yeah,
mean, that's gonna let you
I
go
think I'm gonna do
slow.
that.
It's gonna let you go slow.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna let you trade on the platform that you're gonna be using. You know, pause the other stuff. You know, pause the live trading, pause the data on Trading View if you need to or whatever. You know, and
Right.
do stuff like that. And then let me see. Let me just take a look here. Add-on, or what it would be under subscriptions. So
Mm-hmm.
CME market data, CME top of the so CME top of the book real-time data is $4 through Trade-O-Vate.
Yeah, man, I'll do that.
$4. That's cheap. That's actually, I think that might be cheaper than through
It's
Trading
cheaper
View.
than Trading View. Yeah, Trading View I think is like $6 or something like that, $7, something like that. So
Yeah, so
yeah.
$4 for the market data, and you have a demo account, and you could just now hold on. Let me go back here again. Let me click on this button here, add-ons. If you wanted to add, if you wanted, okay, that's still pretty cheap. Look, if you wanted to, put it this way, it's cheaper than an eval. Um, if you wanted to, you could get a demo account with Trade-O-Vate. You pay the $4 for the CME data, and then it's $10 to activate it for Trading View. So that way you could actually take your trades on TradingView if you wanted to. If it's really important to you, you know, then you could add that on. It says for $9.99 per month. So all in all, it would cost you $14 a month to run a full Trade-O-Vate setup that mirrors the exact Apex setup that you'd be using, and
Right.
that's, you know, again, that's cheaper than the evaluation account. So, you know, that would allow you to start practicing if you you know, and you could reset the account. That's the main thing. You can reset the account, but you can approach it, you know, with the understanding that, okay, you know what I'm doing is I have an idea. I have a clear idea, and I'm just going to start building confidence in it so that when I'm ready, like you said, when you're ready, you'll be able to just show up and start to duplicate that. Just start doing the same thing that you had been doing. You know, build, the whole idea is build confidence now, and then that way when you're ready, you'll be able to just start doing it.
Yep. All right. That works, man. It gives me some guidance and some directions on what I need to do. So I appreciate that, man. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Cool
welcome.
beans.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
sir.
all right. Well, let's see what we got here, you guys. This has been a very slow day. I don't know if I don't know what you. I actually I tried to take a trade earlier, but I went break even on it. It was at it was about 20 minutes, right at about 20 minutes ago. So if this is 10:36, it was at right here. I when price broke above this high, it pulled back in here, and then it pulled back here, as you see, and I sold. And I know, see, I should have made it, but it was my first trade of the day and week, so I trailed at 50%. I broke even at 50%. So what had happened was price broke the high right here, wick closed, pulled back into this area here, and I sold. But I sold, and I know it doesn't look like it, but in here it went up and down enough to actually stop me out at a $5 profit. So I just broke even plus like a tick or something, I guess. So that was my only attempt so far today, and that resulted in nothing. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do if it keeps looking like this. You see, this is hard. This is hard for my style of trading because look, very deep pullbacks. Every pullback is very deep, like almost 50% of the move that it made up. Like even these, like you see, like let me try to help you visualize. Like it's pushing, but then look at how deep the pullback is. Pushing, full retracement, right? And so, you know, all of these are pretty deep. And so it's just kind of hard. And then on top of that, look at all the wicks everywhere. So unless you're just catching the outer edges of these wicks like this,
You got to
which
switch
is
to micros, Ken.
right, yeah, switch it up. So, um, yeah, or if you've just gone wider, I mean, I could see a couple wide setups here that would have worked out, but yeah, where's that one level that I talked about earlier? Yeah, I think it was when this the first one, 924 is what we were talking about in chat. Let me see. Yeah, 924. So we're slowly pushing up towards that level there, but yeah, maybe we'll wait for initial balance. So, we've got our high right here. Once it breaks this, it wicked it, right? And so y'all know how I like to see it is like this. I'd like to see it come up here. This could give me a good short idea. I'm not going to trade it all the way down here, but the idea is there is if it would do that. See, look, every time I draw this, I can't help but think that is that what's actually happening right now. See, I always want to see it happen right up above this, but lately it seems like it's that this move that I'm looking for right here is this move right here. You see how it's been up here and then bam, bam, bam. So it's almost like scoot that over and like that's what we just got. But whatever. And that's really what I'm looking for is for price to get up above here, stay up above there. Would like to see something super clear, and then I might sell it back in. Otherwise, I may look for something bouncing again, just like we were talking about here. See, this is the area where I anticipate that and this is based on the data too. So if price was to come back down into this area here, we should see buyers step in. That's a predictable behavior, right? Wait a minute. Am I looking at the right spot? Yeah. So let me delete this here. So we'd be looking for buyers to step in. And so if we see that, great. That's a behavior that's predictable. We can trade it. But that's probably what I'll be looking for. I'm going to watch this and kind of go from there. So that's my idea. It's the same as always, you guys. Look, we've broken the high. So at this point, there is a high chance. There's only a 30% chance that it'll even come down here to the low. That's still 30%. It could happen. So, that's that. But we've got a 70% chance that we'll never see this low down here. So buying in this area here is a good idea. So that means that it went right up to that 924 level too. So maybe we see price coming into here. We could look for a sell down towards here, and then look for signs of buying, and you might even be able to buy. So you've got a couple different ideas. You got the original idea that looks like this. This one doesn't set up, but as you guys seen, out of X amount of trades, this works. Right, so this is the one really simple trade idea. If price comes down into here, we look for a buy right here at this 50% line. You could buy at the 50% line, or you could buy in here where we thought that the buyers would step in. Either way, you've got a good chance of winning that trade. And the other stuff that I talked about where we could look for sells, if you see signs of selling, you could try to sell down into those areas, but that's that. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'll keep an eye on things
I got a
here.
question.
What's up?
Where did you get that? There's a 70% chance. Was that just your estimation? There's a 70% chance, or
It's based
how'd you come
on
up with
10
that?
years worth of data research. So 10 years of back testing that exact pattern over and over. So, and if you go and you check the pinned messages in, here, let me show you here. I gotta click a button there. Let me do change. If you go right here into pinned messages, I labeled everything right here. So this is 10 years worth of data watching NASDAQ, all right, over back testing. obviously the initial balance is broken often, right? 96% of the time. 73%, once it breaks out of one side, there's a 73 to 82% chance that it'll only be one side. And this has actually gotten better as the years have gone by. This isn't like something that worked 7 years ago and it's slowly decaying. It's actually gotten better as time has gone on. So there's a 50% chance it'll retest the midpoint. So right now, what you're looking at is, essentially a 70. Oh, where'd it go? So that this right here alone, the fact that it's above this right here, there's a 70 to 80% chance that it just will not touch this level right here. So, so there's that. Now that should give you more ideas like, all right, well, if it's not going to touch it, then where could I get long here? Right? Would I get long here? Would I get long here? Like where would how do you want to use that information? Well, I took it one step further and I said, all right, well, let's just see the midpoint, right? And so that midpoint there, 50% of the time, and when it breaks out of one side, 50% of the time. So 96% of the time it breaks out of the high or low. 70 to 80% of the time it's only going to be one side, and 50% of the days it retests the midpoint after breaking out. So so that's the play I like to look for, knowing that we've got the 70 to 80% chance and that 50% of the time it comes back to here. I like to look for that. Now I know that it says 50%, but that doesn't mean one day it'll do it, the next day it won't. One day it'll do it, the next day it doesn't mean it like that, right? It's like sometimes it happens 2 or 3 times a week, and then sometimes it might happen 4 times a week, and then sometimes it might not happen for an entire week. What we're looking at is over 10 years of data, and it's saying, okay, there's, you know, all these thousands of days. Well, out of, 3,000 days, 1,500 of them it actually retested. That doesn't mean it, on average it's this exact amount per day or this or that or whatever, but it's still, still a stat. So it's a when it happens, I like to take the trade, or I like to look for the trade. And so what I do is I wait for price to come into this area, knowing that I already have that good chance that it's going to buy. I like to start
Nice.
looking at areas, so I'm looking at like, all right, oops, I didn't mean to use that. I like to look at areas
Is
like
this in the levels? This is
um
associated with levels, maybe the training or whatever.
you know what? This is just something that we've done day after day. So it's not. I don't have this in. I don't have like you see. I made an indicator that identifies this. I just didn't release it because again, it's just another indicator at that point. So this is just
Yeah.
like something we've talked about for months and months. Like basically every day
Influence.
yeah, every day I'm sitting here waiting for this. And so it's just kind of like a known thing. I can make a video for it. I already have a whole list of extra videos I need to add into the course anyway. So I can make a video for it so that, you know, um, the information is somewhere else besides just here on these calls. But yeah, right now we don't have anything. It's just, but it is very, very simple. It's the first hour of the day. So you go from 9:30 to 10:30. You've got our high. You got our high and low, whichever side it breaks out first. You're now we are bullish on the day, right? Like we're expecting that price will continue moving higher. We already have levels mapped out, you know what I mean? So like we could see an old session high right here. We could see levels right here. We got levels up above there. So we already have volume levels in every type of level that you could imagine that we could use as a target. And we broke out of the high, and then those stats just kind of add to it. So, but yeah, I can make a video for it. But all right, I'm gonna hop off of the call. I'll see mentorship on the webinar at 12 o'clock. Well, by 12 o'clock, we should have something set up on this. This is looking much better. I'd really like for price to start. See, this is a little bit more tradable right here. Like what we're seeing in this last little leg here compared to literally everything. You see how all these wicks are here? throughout the entire morning session, and now it seems like the behavior has completely changed, where like now we're starting to have a little bit more volatility. Prices are more direct, moving one way. So if it'll kind of stay like that, it'd be sweet if it would come up here. And, like these are the types of moves that are going to make like fair value gaps and things like that. Like see here, this is all totally filled in. Everything's just completely just squished together. But when it starts moving a little faster like that, we may see a little bit cleaner breaks in structure where we could say, oh, okay, look, bam, now we're moving back down. I might try to see if I can't find a little short position coming back down towards this level here, right there. And then if it gets down here, we'll look to buy up out of there. You can see the area is really clean and clear. I mean, look, you can see we have a low here. Obviously, somebody stepped in, right? Price was dropping down. It came right to this level. You can see the volume. Bam, price pushed up, never came back after that. Here, price couldn't seem to get below there. It just kept on wicking out, wicking out, wicking out. So we would expect when price comes back here, are we gonna behave the same way, right? Are we gonna have the same type of behavior here? And that's kind of like the last level before we would end up sweeping the actual low. And if that was to happen, then the entire thesis falls apart. I mean, then at that point, the bullish idea is completely gone because it's now broken even the low of this. I would have no more ideas. But as long as we don't break down below here, then or even preferably here, then yeah, I'm gonna just stay bullish on this. Staying bullish doesn't mean that I can't sell down to here. I'd basically be going short just to think about going long. The only reason I'd go short is because I would understand that we would want to buy from these areas here. So, all right, you guys, I'll see you on the webinar, and I'll see the rest of you tomorrow.
Hey, Ken.
All right, bye bye.
Thank you, Ken.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ken.
Welcome.